The wife likes to go and make like tracks in the yard so the boys will have some kind of flat ground to
Okay, when you finish up, you can come up my way and plow. Just kidding. Have fun.
That's Rob, 741. Meanwhile, we don't really plow the whole yard, but what she does is she'll just flat the blade out, kind of kick it back and make it flat, and kind of just go forward, and it takes the snow down quite a bit actually, but without going into the lawn. And she runs a few tracks around that way, and then she'll drop blade it and get a couple of bare spots, because little Tucker here has cold feet and he has to get out of the snow every now and then. Yeah, you gotta watch these guys in the snow or icy cold weather, because their feet will get cold and they'll start to freeze up, and they'll keep lifting them up trying to do something. They need a place to get their feet to dry or something to warm up. So that's what we do. Yeah. See, now she's back blading it. So she runs the tractor pretty good. She's pretty good. The only thing that she doesn't do too well yet is, well, she knows, but she doesn't think of it at the time. If she's got the bucket high, she still drives it like the bucket's low. And when the bucket's high, you got to worry about it because it can tip over. So your balance is not there. So I tell her, listen, whenever you're moving, the bucket's got to be down, you know, a foot or so off the ground, you know, and that's all there is to it. So, but anyway, she's out there doing that. She likes it. It's cold, it's windy, it's blowing like crazy. She's got on one of those sleeping bags. That's one of those hunting sleeping bags. It's a hunter's sleeping bag. Has a hood, has arms and all that on it. And I bought one a few years back. She laughed at me. I cut the bottom off it and I told her to stitch it. So it's about 5 inches from the floor when I'm in it. And what I do is I wear it when I go out like this in this weather. It keeps you warm, you know. And because I cut the bottom off, it's just like a big old winter coat. And she laughed. Well, one night she tried it, and then the next thing you know, she has me ordering one for her. So I ordered one for her. She stitched it up and good. Now my original one, I actually cut the hood off it, because I think I don't like hoods, to be honest with you, but sometimes you need them. And I cut the sleeves a little bit so they're kind of like at the elbow. So I realized after she had gotten hers and she trimmed it, she did not take the hood off or the sleeves off. I put it on one day and I said, you know what, maybe I should have kept the hood and the sleeves on it, you know. So I ordered another one for myself. So now we have 3 of them. But I'll tell you what, you can't beat the price. It's going to outlast and outwarm anything I've seen out there. Go to Sportsman's Guide and you look for the Hunter's sleeping bag. I think it's like 40 bucks. You cut the bottom off, you know, to wherever you feel you're most comfortable so you can walk in it, you know, and just stitch around so that you don't lose the seams. And I tell you what, zip yourself in that thing and you are toasty warm. I'm telling you. So it works better than any coat I ever had. If I was able to wear that out when I'm doing traffic, I would. But unfortunately I can't. So, alright. Other than that, 741 got a hold of me. And he said he had noticed on the video that I was doing on this SDR radio that apparently I am entering the frequency wrong. Now that would be the least of what I thought I'd be doing wrong. Right? And I also talked to a gentleman at Ham Radio Outlet in New Hampshire by the name of Barry. Barry runs a lot of the internet stuff, sales. So if you have an internet sale that you've made, you go through Barry. But also he does sales if you call. And they do work on commission. So at that point, I like to know who I'm working with. And the one that is the easiest to get along with, one that's there that enjoys being there, all right, those are the names I like to keep on hand. Because those are the ones that I like to talk with, especially if you have a question or a problem. Because they will spend a little time with you. Now these guys are on commission, so at most part, you know, you don't want to just call them up to ask them questions and not buy anything, because now you're just wasting money on them, and then naturally we all have to work for a living. So, you know, if I know I'm going to be ordering something, at that point I will, you know, naturally ask a lot of questions on it, and then I will order it. You know, if so. If not, they may tell me, well, listen, that's good, but you may want this. You know, for instance, when I was buying the antenna analyzer, I was looking at the MFJ. And he says, well, you know, it's a good unit. He says, however, if you want more for your money, it's going to cost you more. But if you want more, something you're not going to grow out of, something that's going to be there for you, buy the Rig Expert. I think it was the Rig Expert. Yeah. He says, and that'll do better for you, you know. So naturally, they make these suggestions. And it's not that they're trying to earn any more off you. They're just, you know, they're a ham operator that knows ham operators, and they like the job, they like the field, they want to do what they can. So anyway, there's a guy up there by the name of Pete, which when I get him on the phone, I usually say, not a problem, Pete, I'm going to call you back, I forgot something. Or I'll ask for somebody else, because Pete is just strictly business. What do you want? I'm busy. That type of an attitude, you know. Place the order. If you have a question, call the manufacturer, you know. And that I don't care for too much. So Pete doesn't get any of my business. But anyway, 741 sent me a text. And we talked the other day. He called me from work, and we were just bullshitting a little bit. And at first, you know, we've both come to the conclusion that it might be just a bad unit, you know. And then I called Ham Radio Outlet today, and I was talking to Barry, which again, one of the better guys there. And I told him, you know, I may have to return this thing. He goes, well, that's strange. He goes, we've sold thousands, you know, literally thousands of those things and never got one back. So I was talking with him, and he had just texted me again saying he was looking at one of the videos that I was doing on it, and he noticed that I hadn't entered the frequency right. Well, apparently it's a different method than I'm used to doing. Usually, if you put in a number, you just put in your frequency, your decimal, continue the frequency, enter, and it's done. But apparently, I'm missing a zero or missing a decimal or whatever the case may be, and it's a little bit more involved. So I reloaded the program, and I told him I'll get back to him in a few, because I don't want to start doing that when I'm trying to keep an eye on the wife at the same time, because she's out there, and while I'm talking to you I can actually see her. So if she has a problem, I want to get out there, you know, at that point. So, but I'll tell you, the wind turbine was turning so fast that it started to vibrate. It couldn't go any faster. It was just vibrating like crazy. All right. There's my honey. I'll tell you, the Lord did right by putting her in my life until she runs over something. Then I'm going to swear at her and yell at her and what are you, stupid? So she does okay. Right. That's my baby. That's my baby. So anyway, if she gets cold, she knows enough to come in. But yeah, okay. I went to get gas last night. I figured, you know what? They're talking the storm, which at this point they actually came through with the right forecast. And it was about 6 o'clock last night. I said, you know what? Maybe I better go get and fill up the tank. You know, I usually have a full tank anyway, but again, Let me turn this down. I'm sorry today for all the noise, but I got to keep things going. So as I was saying, I decided to go get gas. I like Shell. Do you believe there's assholes out there in small boats? And I like Shell gas. Shell just burns Shell and Gulf. Chevron too, but there's no Chevron stations around here anymore. I get, believe it or not, I get better gas. People say there's no difference in gas. Well, there is, because they add additives at the rack. So it gives you different gases, all right? Some have cleaners in them, some, you know, this, that, they add at the rack. When they pull up, they fill, they add. Meanwhile, I like Shell. So I go to Shell, and I got a Shell credit card. So I go to Shell, and I'm going to fill up the tank and a couple of my tanks, my 5-gallon buckets. I think I got 20 gallons of gas, but I said, you know what, let me fill up another 10, you know, another 2 more, and make sure I have enough. So meanwhile, the wife is now working her way towards the front. Now, I don't know if you can see what she done out here. No more treats. You guys had enough. Go play in the snow. I don't know if you could. Let me turn this around so I can see. Right there, there's a dark spot. Yeah, that's because she brings it down here and there to the grass. So, and there's a couple of big ones over there, real big ones. This way, as well as under trees. This way, if they're little, especially Tucker, when his little feet get cold, he has a place to go and get out of the snow. So, no more treats. Stop looking. So now she's working her way down the driveway. So anyway, we'll let her do what she has to do. I'm talking to you for 20 minutes. And I have no idea if I made any sense or did anything or talked about anything useful or not. But meanwhile, I will post it just so that you can listen to my voice. Yeah, right. I'm glad I don't have to listen to me. Alright guys, I'm going to have my coffee. And as soon as she gets off the tractor, I'm going to call 741 Rob, and we'll go through this radio real quick. I mean, his is his is working. He's got a an SDR Play 1A, which is a little bit different, but I don't think it's going to be that much different. So we'll give him a call. He got his up and running. Now again, it could be just because it's digital and I'm not used to digital. I'm not looking to make excuses by no means. All right, it could just be me. I'm not perfect. And I know I'm not perfect. So it could be just me. You know, it could be old age creeping in. It could be, you know, not using it, not being around it. You know, you lose. You if you don't use it, you lose it type of thing. You know, so it could be just me having a stupid moment. But meanwhile, thanks to Rob, we should get this thing straightened out.